Pakistan airspace closure to cost Indian Airlines around $800 million annually. Indian Airlines are staring at a huge financial hit, nearly $800 million a year, as a result of Pakistan's decision to block its airspace. This move, which took effect on April 24, 2025, is forcing airlines like Air India, AI, and IndiGo, 6E, to take longer flight paths, burn more fuel, and make extra technical stops. It's estimated the closure will cost the sector $1 billion annually, disrupting services from major cities like Delhi, DEL, and other northern hubs. Industry insiders told the Ministry of Civil Aviation, MOCA, that these losses are piling up from longer routes, increased fuel bills, and even cancellations. Air India alone could lose around $600 million, with IndiGo projected to take a $200 million hit. The consolidated annual loss of $800 million for Indian Airlines, sources say, is driven by increased fuel costs, longer routes, and technical stops. These figures, first reported by Business Line, are based on preliminary data submitted to MOCA, which asked airlines to assess the financial fallout. Final reconciled numbers are still to come, but the early picture is bleak. For Air India, which earns 60% of its revenue from international flights, the loss is particularly painful. Its long-haul routes are heavily impacted, with operational disruptions leading to a $600 million loss estimate. IndiGo, despite its diversified international network, isn't spared either. $200 million in losses are expected, while carriers like Air India Express, NI, SpiceJet, SG, and Akasa Air, QP, are also affected. The ban disrupts over 800 weekly flights from cities like Delhi, DEL, Amritsar, ATQ, and Lucknow, LKO, to destinations in North America, Europe, the Middle East, and Central Asia. Air India runs 70 flights a week to North America, with 58 originating from Delhi, DEL. Now, with Pakistan's airspace off-limits, these flights are forced to reroute over the Arabian Sea or stop in Vienna, VYE, or Copenhagen, CPH, adding 2 to 4.5 hours to each journey. That means more fuel, longer crew hours, and reduced cargo space. Only its fleet of Boeing 777s and Airbus A350s are capable of flying non-stop to the US and Canada, but the rerouted paths are pushing their limits. Air India has asked for government support, suggesting a subsidy to offset losses, estimating the impact at $591 million annually if the ban remains. IndiGo, 6E, with about 50 affected international routes, has also felt the pressure, especially on flights from northern cities to the Gulf and CIS nations like Almaty, ALA, and Tashkent, TAS. From April 27th to May 7th, 2025, it had to cancel some of these Central Asian flights because the detours stretch beyond the range of its narrow-body aircraft. The airline's multi-hub model, using airports like Delhi DEL, Mumbai BOM, and others, helps spread out the impact. Still, each longer flight adds $1,350 to $3,000 in operating costs due to higher fuel usage. Industry-wide implications. The closure is affecting over 1,200 flights per month to Europe and North America, adding around 1.5 hours per flight and costing $35,000 for each North America-bound trip. Middle Eastern flights are seeing 45-minute extensions and cost spikes of about $6,000 per journey. These expenses, combined with payload limits and complex crew planning, are putting additional pressure on already thin airline profit margins. What makes things worse? Non-Indian carriers aren't restricted by the airspace ban and are now gaining a competitive edge, potentially poaching Indian Airlines' market share. The Indian government is exploring ways to ease the burden, including potential tax breaks and rerouting through corridors closer to Chinese airspace. If this situation feels familiar, it's because a similar closure followed the 2019 Balakot airstrikes, which cost Indian Airlines $83 million over 5 months. The current ban, expected to last at least until May 25th, 2025, could rack up even higher losses if it drags on. To manage the rising costs, airlines are now considering fare hikes between 8 to 12%, a move that might hit travelers in the wallet. The Ministry of Civil Aviation is actively working with airlines to assess longer-term consequences and identify possible solutions, all with a focus on minimizing inconvenience for passengers. But unless there's a diplomatic breakthrough, the pressure on Indian Airlines is likely to continue mounting. Stay with us for more updates, subscribe, and follow us on social media to stay in the loop.